Josh here from the brewery. Thanks for tuning in to our second episode of our Ranch House cooking demo. Today we're going to be doing beer can chicken. So the first thing we're going to do here is get our rub ready. So I've already got 1 cup of brown pepper here. Next we're going to add 1 cup of salt. After that, we're going to get us half a cup of some granulated onion. Then we're going to do half a cup of granulated garlic. You guys had this before, it had a little spice to it, so we're going to add a little bit of chipotle chili pepper here. We're going to do a 1/4 cup of this. If you want it a little spicier, you're more than welcome to go to like a half a cup or so. All this will be pre-mixed for you when it comes up, so this is what you get. Take this rub and mix it up. So that's looking good and homogeneous there. Now that we got that, we're going to take our chicken, and to get this rub to stick, what we want to do is we're going to add just a little bit of vegetable oil. So this will also be included in your kit. You just want to take just a little bit, throw it on your hand or glove or whatever you got. Get this thing nice and coated so that the rub will stick. I like to always start to rub my chicken with the breast side up. So we're going to take our rub. We're not going to be bashful about it. Now instead of rubbing your hand all over when you got this rub on here, you want to pat it. If you start going like that, it pulls the rub off the skin. So we're going to pat. Now this bird's ready for the most important part. We're going to be using half blue ribbon in your kits. This is what I've always used for years, nothing fancy, just get out of the store, find something cheap. We're just using this as a moisturizing agent on the inside. The important part about this, we want to take about half of this beer and pour it out. If you don't do that, this bird's going to have a serious case of acid reflux and you're going to have a mess on your grill or smoker. So now we're going to spread the inside of the bird out, get it onto the can, make sure it's all the way in there. And it's going to sit just like that when you go to put it on your grill. Alright guys, so what we're going to want to do here is get our fire going. I don't like to use any fire starters that have chemicals in them, so we're going to use a torch to get this going. You want to make sure your draft doors are fully open on the bottom of your smoker or grill or whatever. Make sure you get all the airflow you need to get this fire rolling. So now that we got this going, we'll let it burn down a little bit, and once we get a lot of this, you can kind of see the smoke's real gray right now. Once that turns into more of a white or clear smoke, then we'll get our cook on. Alright, so now we're going to take our bird, throw it in the smoker, make sure we get these legs propped up, don't go anywhere. We're going to cook this bird at 325 degrees. Should be about 2 to 3 hours depending on your grill or smoker. most important part is going to be getting your internal temp to 165 degrees. So like I said, roughly about 2 to 3 hours. So I'll give this some time to cook, and I'll catch up with you when she's done. Alright guys, we're back. So I just probed this chicken, and we are at 167 degrees. So we are good to go. That's what it should look like. Nice and golden brown. Sweet, so we're gonna grab this thing, take it inside, and carve it up. After we give it a nice rest, we'll let this rest for about 5 to 7 minutes, and then we'll carve it up. Alright, so now that we've let this bird rest for 5 minutes, we'll go ahead and carve it up. But I think I'm gonna leave this one to the expert. So I'm gonna let our executive chef, Jeremy, walk you through this, keep our social distance, and let him come into the frame.
Hi everyone, I'm Jeremy. I'm going to break down this bird that Josh did such a great job cooking for us. First thing we're going to do is pull the can out. Be careful. It is hot. There is still liquid in it. The liquid is hot. So remove that. Next thing we want to do, lay the bird on its back. So you can go a couple different ways. You can pull the legs first, or you can start just with the breast. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull the legs. So I'm going to start cutting here into the joint. Just let it separate on its own. Bone right there should come right off. Just cut right through that. It should separate quite easily. Still bone, should just pull right off. There's meat on there you can pull, put into a chicken salad or something like that. Do the same thing on the other side, she'll just pull right apart. If it's not, you can give it a little cut on the skin here, going down into the joint, separate it. Do most of this work with your hands. Separate it all the way down to the hip joint here. Pull it off. If this happens and you get spine comes with it, just pull it. There you go. Good meat for your chicken salad later. This portion, nice portion there. We're left with the chicken breast here and the wings. We can do the same thing with the wings. You can actually just pop the wings right off. There. Now here's the fun part of the chicken breast. So there is cartilage, tough tissue that runs right down the center. We're going to go on either side of that, straight down the middle. Use a sharp knife. Right in here is where you find your wishbone. We're going to ride along the rib cage towards the back. It's a little warm. Be careful as you're doing this. Just right along this rib cage here. Pop right off. Joint there. Breast portion, rib cage, come off nice and clean. We'll go same thing on the other side. Just on the other side of that connective tissue there. Kind of pull it away from the rib cage there. Working your way down towards the spine. There's a little bone here, floating rib. Cut down towards this joint. If you get down to this joint and it's a little tough there, you can just cut right through it. There are your portions. A little bit of meat you can pull off for your chicken salad. Stick it over there on the side. Save your bones, save your carcass for your chicken stock, make a soup. There are your portions.
Alright guys, I want to touch on a few things here. I know we're going to get some questions on what if I don't have a smoker like this, or all I have is a grill, so we're going to kind of go over that. For those of you that do have smokers, it's probably something similar to a Big Green Egg or an Acorn or something like that. On a setup like that, all you're going to want to do is, we'll use the Big Green Egg for an example, is just put your plate setter in there. I don't know what they call it on the Acorn, but you want to cook on indirect heat. but you're still going to maintain that temperature of 325 degrees during your cook. If you just have a propane grill, what you want to do is you want to set that up for indirect cooking. So I'm going to kind of use this smoke box as a visual here. So we can just kind of imagine that these 3 draft doors are your burners. So if you had 3 burners or 4, whatever you got, you're going to set your chicken on this side, and then you're just going to turn your burners on the opposite side on so that you're not getting any direct heat onto that chicken, and just adjust your heat accordingly to maintain a temperature of 325. And then, like I said, just make sure your internal temp of that bird is up to 165 or just a little bit above. Just make sure it's not cooler than 165 for health standards, and that should be it. I mean, it's not super hard. Enjoy.